Hi, Analisa Six here with the Lady of Leisure and the Sober Curator to bring you the March 2024 horoscope for the zodiac sign of Capricorn for Sun and Rising placements. Hello, Capricorn. I've got my dog, my Bam Bam. He came and sat on my lap and he is wanting to groom himself. And I'm kind of nervous that his grooming noises are going to be in the background of this video and be really gross and make the video hard to listen to. But it's hard because I mean, he's so cute. I don't want to take him off of my lap. You're so cute. Yes. Well, let's go ahead and dive right in. March is Pisces season, so we enter every March with the sun in Pisces, but we have a lot going on in Pisces. We've got Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is your ruling planet. We have Mercury in Pisces, and then we also have Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune has been in Pisces for quite a while now, so that's nothing new, but it's still a lot of Piscean energy to be starting the month out with. So the area of the horoscope that this affects for the Capricorn dominant person is the area that rules communication. So your house of communication, the third house, is lit up by all this Piscean energy. And Pisces in the third house, it really lends itself to having a really, really strong connection to your intuition and the psychic realm. So if you've been having a really strong intuition lately about things where you find yourself being, right, or having psychic hits about things or even psychic dreams, that's elevated during this time. On the flip side, one of the problems with some of this energy is that we can also be more prone to illusions or fantastical thinking. And so it's really hard to get grounded in reality or what's practical. The thing that works in your favor is that you're Capricorn, and Capricorns are always more practical and rooted in reality than, the Piscean individual. So it could be kind of like an energy that's coming into the ether that's not really your comfort zone, in a lot of ways, even though this is where you have, this house in the horoscope like all the time. Like this is just in the horoscope, this is where that is, but it's not always full like this. It's not always elevated like this. So this is a positive time to get in touch with more of your relationship to your intuition, the psychic side of life, because you already are somebody that's more grounded in the mundane or in what's practical or real, but you might still, if you're feeling really like easily disassociated from reality, it's good for you to do things that help you feel more grounded. Also with this energy, it is really common for a lot of us during these types of transits for us to feel more inclined towards escaping reality through substance abuse. So if you're feeling more inclined towards that and it's a problem for you, seeking help in that way, on the sobercurator.com, there's a whole resources page for, help around alcoholism, drug addiction, those types of things. So, Saturn and Pisces, especially as your ruling planet, and just also a lot of these, energies kind of at play, we're all under this influence where we have the potential to feel more of an inclination towards escaping reality through these means, like these unhealthy means. So if you're feeling, ungrounded in that way, that can be a helpful thing, in terms of, leaning on your support group, recovery group, or if you're new to recovery, finding some other resources. Another thing that we enter the month with is Venus and Mars in Aquarius, and they're kind of dancing together at the beginning of the month in a little bit of a wide conjunction. And the area of the chart that this hits for you is your area that has to do with finances. When Venus is here, it's great. We tend to have a lot of opportunities to bring more money into our lives or to just have some good energy around our finances. But when Mars is here, there's kind of this energy where it could come and go just as quickly. So, and we could also experience maybe some challenges with money that we weren't necessarily anticipating, but Venus here still adds a little bit of a blessing. And so it's interesting because it's what's your relationship to financial security? What's your relationship to money? Are you doing things in your life that help you make money in a way that you feel good about, ethical about, having it in Aquarius? The other thing too that happened at the beginning of the year is in January, Pluto stationed officially in Aquarius for the next 20 years. And so that ingress into Aquarius was an ingress into your second house of finances. And so Pluto is going to be influencing this area for the next 20 years. And it's going to, bring up a lot of issues around self-worth, how you make money, how you hold on to money, what you do with your money, how you build material wealth or security for yourself. All of those themes are highlighted for you. And Mars and Venus are here kind of highlighting that for you now. On March 9th, Mercury is going to enter Aries, and we have a lot happening in Aries right now. The North Node and Chiron are in a conjunction in Aries, and we'll talk about that first and then talk about how Mercury is kind of influencing that. So the area of the chart that the North Node and Chiron is highlighting for Capricorn is the area that rules home and family. And so your home and then your family life and your relationship to family and your relationship to the past in relation to your family is highlighted. Chiron is the wounded healer, and it represents an area of our lives that we have some kind of trauma in that needs attention, and we're actively trying to work on healing that. The North Node is a karmic destiny point where we're also trying to learn karmically how to express that energy more actively in our life, and the energy being Aries, and the area is home and family. So, for you, having some of this energy with Venus and Mars and Pluto in the second house, there might be kind of these questions around, how are you utilizing money to build security for yourself? And what is your relationship to money and security? And how did your family, I don't want to say dictate, but essentially a lot of times like our relationship to how we perceive money is implanted in us early on based off of our childhood experiences and our family's relationship to money. So, like a lot of people that have a scarcity mindset tend to have a scarcity mindset because they were raised maybe with a level of poverty or financial struggle that was really traumatic. And so there's always kind of this fear, of not having enough. And so even if that person has enough and has a great job and has savings and has stability, there's always that fear because, in those early years, they didn't have that, so there's always kind of this scarcity mindset that they have to work on healing. So that's just an example. Another one could be, like some people, even if they weren't born poor, like maybe they have a family where success is determined on a certain amount of money that gets made. So if you're not making or saving that amount of money, then you're not successful. And that can be a story that people tell themselves. And then it kind of feels like nothing you do is ever good enough until you reach this milestone. Your self-worth, I know there's some people that have a lot of fear around being able to own a home or buy a home or keep their home. And that could be something, where like there's people that accomplish that and yet they still have this story about it that, there's a lot of fear around. And so I think that if I were to get more like philosophical and esoteric about it and like kind of pulling from some of the schools of thought, the spiritual practices and schools that I've studied and been a part of, the biggest thing in all of it is that nothing lasts forever and nothing is a constant. Like everything's constantly changing, so even if you get that home or that thing, like at some point something's going to change, whether it's somebody passes away or you decide that you want to sell your home or move, or you get divorced, or the pandemic happens, those types of things. Like nothing lasts forever. Nothing, some people, with the fires, people have lost their home to the fires. And so there's a positive mindset in remembering that everything is temporary regardless of what it is, right? Whether it's people, places, things, pets, friends, children, like even if we outlive our children, it's just we're temporary. Somebody somewhere is going to suffer from the trauma or the pain of the temporary thing changing, right? And that's not to like make things sound negative or sad or depressing, but it's important that when you're recognizing self-worth issues or you're healing trauma around your family, things change, people change. There's things that my parents said to me when I was young that really affected me, and I held on to it for a really long time, only now to realize that they don't even have that same point of view. They don't even think those same things. Or I've gotten apologies, from my parents about certain things that were said to me. But yeah, it happened at such a young age, it like ingrained into me and who I am. So it's like I still have to do that healing work around it, even if my parents today don't actually feel that way. I've actually experienced that in relationships too, where, people are upset with me about something that happened years ago. And even though I've apologized for it, it triggered something and they still like they have to work through letting that go. Like me apologizing and taking accountability and saying something doesn't, if they're not actively doing the work to move on from that and heal their own stuff with it, then my apology doesn't even mean anything. And I've had that happen. I've had people apologize to me, but I wasn't ready to accept the apology and I wasn't in a space where I felt open to receiving it yet. And I had to have my own healing journey, my own process with it, right? So that's kind of a big theme for you, Capricorn, with this North Node Chiron placement, like what you're healing. It could be ancestral family kind of stuff. And if you have kids or you're in a nuclear family kind of structure in your home, that actively, like I'm talking about with some of the past stuff, but that actively could be stuff that's going on right now, with Mercury entering Aries on the 9th. That's going to be a huge theme: communication within the home, communication within the family. If you don't live with family and you have roommates or people that you live with, that's a big theme too, in terms of, how things get communicated. If you live alone, your relationship to yourself within that is a theme. So, how is your relationship to your home life? Are you thinking of moving? Are you feeling restless or discontent with something about your home? Are there things that you need to change? Those are all themes. Mercury is going to be in Aries until May because we have Mercury stationing retrograde on April 1st. So those are things to kind of keep in mind, is that this is a theme that starts in March, but is going to be a theme through May. But it's even a theme longer having the North Node and Chiron here. We're really going to be feeling a lot of this energy for a good portion of the year. After Mercury enters Aries, we're going to have a new moon at 20 degrees of Pisces, and that hits the area of the Capricorn horoscope that has to do with communication again. So this is a great opportunity to set intentions around what you would like to manifest or call in around how you communicate. Also, if you do have goals spiritually or around your intuition, this could be a really positive time to get, more intentional about that, developing those skills. Shortly after that, a couple days later, Venus is also going to enter Pisces and join that Pisces party. So Venus here is great for building that intuition and those psychic abilities. It's also a really great energy for creative writing, songwriting. If you're an artist or a musician, this is a really great time for you in terms of feeling like you're channeling in kind of these downloads or these messages of this creative energy. I feel like I said that weird, but I hope you understand what I mean. So that's really positive. On March 19th, we enter Aries season. So the sun's going to enter Aries, and that's going to enter that area of home and family again. So the sun comes and brings in a lot of energy to home and family. And I think it's positive. The sun in Aries is positive, but it's also hot, having Mercury here. There's definitely room for reactive energy, emotional energy with all the Pisces energy here. So, it is a very emotional and reactive time for everybody collectively. So, even though there's a lot of positive potential, there's also a lot of potential for things to feel very hot and just intense. What's the next one? So March 23rd, Mars is going to join the Pisces party, and that's going to enter the house of communication, which again elevates things. And so having Mercury in Aries and then Mars, the ruler of that, is in Pisces in the house of communication, which is what Mercury rules. There's so much potential for you to be spicy language, spicy communication, overly reactive, overly sensitive, overly emotional. So those are just things you want to be mindful with. It's also a really positive time for you to get in touch with deep feelings and anything that you may have been repressing that needs to be healed and worked out. And by healed, I mean like you're not going to just heal it overnight, but just things that you're actively working and reflecting on. in terms of whatever needs to be healed, you know, from a deeper place within the subconscious. Pisces is all about healing in the subconscious. And then on March 25th, we're going to have our lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Libra, and the area that that's going to hit. So we're going to have that Aries energy that's highlighted in the 4th house, and then we're going to have Libra 5 degree moon in Libra hitting in the house of career, which is the house that you, Capricorn, traditionally rule, the 10th house. And that is going to really highlight, you know, what are you doing in your life, out in the world, in your career? And is it in alignment for you? Is this something that you want to continue doing? What are your relationships like at work? If you are self-employed, your relationships to your clients and your business is highlighted. And, you know, are you pulling happiness, positivity from that? Are there changes that need to be made? Those are all themes that this eclipse is bringing up for Capricorn. And those themes are going to be lasting over the next 6 months. So whatever this eclipse kind of brings to the surface, you're going to be kind of in the throes of for a while. I'm booking one-on-one readings again. So I'm doing tarot and astrology readings. If you are interested in booking a personal reading and seeing how these transits are impacting you on a personal level, you can email me at analisa6@ladyofleisure.com. You can find me at ladyofleisure.com and thesobercurator.com. All right, Capricorn, good luck this month, and I will see you guys in April.